Hello. So today we'll be going over custom fields and field labels and dynamic custom fields. Custom fields are fields within the database that you would create. So for example, if we went in here to my record, we could come over to custom and you'll see these right here. These would be custom fields. So we have a short text field, a long text field, select field, so this is where you select one, number field, these are decimal fields, and then we have multi-select fields. So to create these, we would go back up to main menu, and we'll go into configuration. We'll come over here to custom fields and field labels, and you'll see the first one right here. These up top are going to be editable by members. So the text fields would be short text, and you would name it right here. And these drop downs right here are if you would like to make them required. So by default, they're not mandatory, but you can select for them to be mandatory on new member registration, member profile change, or both. Custom indicator fields, so these are the little checkboxes. You would name it right here. Custom selection fields, so this is a drop down, such as this, where the member can only select one option. If you would like to change the options, you would come over here to field values, and you can edit the existing ones, delete them, or add a new one. Custom multi-select fields, so this is an array of checkboxes, so the member can select more than one option. Again, the field values would be over here. Down here would be multi-line text fields, so this is where you can allow for members to put in a lot of text and a bunch of information. And then down here, anything with admin is going to be specific for admins only. So they're only visible and editable by admin level users in the database. Members will not be able to see it, they will not be able to edit it. So these are any sort of information that you want to keep on the admin only side of things. We have the custom admin selection field, so again, a drop down, and the field values. Admin indicator fields, so again, checkboxes. We have the admin multi-line text fields, so if you want a lot of information. And then down here, date fields. This is just for a date, so it will give the little drop down with a calendar where you can select a day or just enter it in. Additional phone fields, so this is if you would like to, let's say there was a business phone or a third phone or something like that. You can rename those and then you can make them mandatory. Note that the mobile phone is the only field in the database that will work with the broadcast text message feature module. And then down here are alternate field labels. So these are default fields in the database. If you would like for them to be named something different, this is where you would rename them. So let's say that employer business name, you can rename that. Let's say that the alternate address is a work address. So I would just put work address 2. You can put work city, work state, etc. So these would just rename these fields in the database. So come back over here. And you'll see that I have work address 2, city, state, zip, all of that. So they would just be relabeled as that. All right. So now we will go into dynamic custom fields. So to get to dynamic custom fields, you'd go to configuration and dynamic custom fields. And these are a little bit different than the last custom fields that we looked at. You can reorder these. So the other ones you cannot reorder. Once they are in a specific order, that is how they stay. With these right here, we can actually drag and drop if we want to change the ordering of them, and it will pop up right here saying success when it's been reordered. You can also make them only available for certain record types in the database. So let's say you want to gather a certain bit of information from specific members but not other ones. You can make them specific to different record types. You can also restrict them to admin only, but members can see. So with the other custom fields, you can make them admin only, but that also restricts the visibility to the members. They won't be able to see or edit those fields. With these, we can set it right here. You see that this one says admin only, but members can see. So it would be viewable to members, but not editable. And you can make them mandatory on a couple of extra pages. So the last ones were you were only able to make them mandatory on new member registration and or the member profile change. But there are some instances where you're getting a new member from event registration or via the mobile app. These fields would then be able to be made mandatory on those areas as well. So you would select the add field of type using this dropdown. So indicator would just be a checkbox. Number integer would be whole numbers, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. Number decimal would be 1.01, etc. So you can have a decimal place in there. Short text field. Long text would be the multi-line. Select would just be one option, so a drop down. Multi-select would be an array of checkboxes. Date would be the little calendar drop down to select a specific day. And then caption is just a verbiage field. So if you want to add a little bit more information, you can go ahead and put that in. It is not a field that anyone can edit, but members would be able to see it. So if we go in here, this is a long text field. So you would name it right here. You can have categories if you have those set up. You can make it members can edit, so editable and viewable by members. Admin only, members can view, so admins would be able to edit it, but members could still view it but not be able to edit it. Admin only, and members would not be able to edit or view that. If it is restricted to a specific member type or record type, because we do have the non-member record types in here as well, you would just select them. So if you have multiples and you don't want to keep, selecting one, going back, what you can do is you can hold down Control on your keyboard and select them. So if I just went down and select specific ones, so now in the database and on registration, these would only be, this field right here would only be available to these record types. You can make it mandatory on new member registration, event reg, new member registration, so if you're accepting new members during event registration, member profile edit, and mobile app profile edit. If you would like to add a little bit of information down here to give them a better idea of what you're requesting from them, you can go ahead and enter a caption. If you would like, you can move this box to give yourself a little bit more room, but it'll just give a little scroll bar right over here. You can also hide specific ones on new member registration. So it would only be available on editing their profile. All right, so we'll go down to, we'll do a select field. Selection field, you can select category, again, those. And then let's go ahead and save. After you save, you'll be taken to the list of options. So you would add the options using either this, so one by one, and save, or you can copy them from another select field. So let's say you're asking the same thing um, for newsletters. We'll copy options. Now I have all of the same options as that other field. So I could delete my first one. Another thing is quick list add options. So this is really nice if you have a little text document with a whole bunch of options, or you can do option one. A couple different ways to do it. So option one, comma separated. So that would be the list style. Option two. So if we added those, they're quick added like that. Or you can select new line or semicolon. So if you're doing option one, option two, or if you're doing new line, you would do it like this and select new line. Since I have the same ones, it's not going to add those. And then order options. So if you want to automatically order them alphabetical, alphanumeric, or order entered, you can go ahead and select that and it will reorder them. And then you can also reorder them manually by dragging and dropping. Once you're done, you can go ahead and select back to fields. And again, you can drag and drop wherever you would like that. All right, and then captions. So we can do instructions. You can have it set to members can view or members cannot view, so it would just be viewable by admins. And then you can restrict it to a different member type. Caption field and save. And then you can go ahead and move this. Let's go back into the database to see how it looks. Go to custom. All right, so it would be right here. So the name doesn't come up, but it'll be shown right in here. So this is just a caption. Nothing can be entered, nothing can be edited. It's just a little bit of information. So selection fields, these right here is multi-select, so an array of checkboxes. Dates, so this is the little calendar I was talking about. And more indicators. All right, and that is the end of dynamic custom fields, and field labels.